is Mikaela Lynn, and today we bring
not letting your knees holding for the APT.
RD Curry, question.
This is Mikaela Lynn with the APT News Network. I'm here with Leah DeCesare to discuss her experiences as a powerlifter. Leah, tell me, was this your first powerlifting competition?
No, I've done, this was my fifth.
Fifth?
Yeah.
My goodness, so when was your first?
My first one was in August of 2013, yeah.
So have you been powerlifting just for those 2 years? How long have you been training?
I've been training for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Like this month rounds out 3 years even.
And what got you into powerlifting?
Well, I was always really interested in strength training as a kid, but didn't have anywhere to do it really. A friend of mine who went to this gym in Gowanus, was really into it. I was talking to her about it, and I'm a massage therapist, and she told me that the guy who was running it, was interested in meeting a massage therapist to kind of refer his lifters to, that I should go check it out. So, I went, I met him, and he taught me to squat, and that was it. Yeah.
Very cool. So you said you have been interested in lifting weights since you were a child. Mm-hmm. Did you participate in any sports or fitness activities?
When I was a kid, I was really into martial arts, and I competed in that. So I did that for a couple of years, and then I sort of fell out of really doing much at all, other than really just riding my bike, to commute around and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you said 3 years ago you started powerlifting again. Was that the first time you'd gotten back into the fitness field, or have you been doing other things along the way?
Well, I don't know. I guess in a competitive sense, yes. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, I've always been active in the sense that, again, I would use my bike to kind of commute around. I never really got too serious about that, but that was something that I was always, doing every day. So, yeah.
Leah, can you tell me a little bit about your training regimen and how nutrition fits into that?
Mm-hmm. So ideally I try to train 3-4 times a week. It doesn't always happen that way. I just, try to do the best I can. I'm a vegan. I've been vegan for 10 years. So I don't really take many protein powders or anything like that. I kind of just try to, eat so that I have energy. I get plenty of protein. A lot of people, kind of grill me about that, but it's in everything that I'm eating. So yeah, I try not to think too much about it. I mean, I don't know. Lifting's supposed to be fun. I'm not trying to break down everything and just be strong for who I am day to day.
And in a typical training session, what does that look like?
So it depends. You have 3 major lifts in powerlifting. You have squat, bench press, deadlift. So they will kind of focus around that depending on where you are. So one day my main focus might be squat, and I'll do some accessory work that isn't so heavy on my quads, just to kind of get everything, kind of ready. And then next day I might go in and bench. Next day I might go in and deadlift. And there are a couple of different takes on all of these different lifts. You might do a bench with a little bit more of a pause to really kind of condition your muscles, or you'll do a deficit deadlift where you're standing on a block so that you have to pull it a little bit further to really kind of lend to your major lifts when you have to go and compete.
Now, Leah, you mentioned earlier that you participated in martial arts when you were younger, and now you're involved in powerlifting. Through these experiences, have there been any particular role models that you have looked up to?
Well, when I was a kid, I was a really big pro wrestling fan, and that was kind of what got me interested in being strong, appearing strong, anything like that. These were the women that I saw growing up. Now, I don't necessarily have any particular person that I look to now, but I will say that in the sport of powerlifting, you'll see in the open division, which is any age group that isn't juniors, oftentimes the women who are at the top of the podium are in their 40s and so on, and what's really cool about that to me is because, I mean, a lot of people think about, you know, younger folks as being kind of like this prime image of health. But being able to kind of see these folks and how much time they put into their training, you know, like I think about it, like I'm 26 and I will compete against women, you know, for the podium who are 20 years older than me, and I get to kind of say like, oh, you know, I'm just competing against myself. There's no way I can catch up to her. I don't know. It's cool to kind of see what you can kind of like gain up to as you get a little older. And I don't know. I'd like to eventually be someone like, oh, she's been doing this for 20 years. You know, like that's not my league. So I really admire, you know, all these people who, I mean, a lot of women like get into it in their older age too, and I think that's really, really awesome and admirable.
Leah, can you tell me, how has powerlifting changed your outlook?
I think that a message that women get, you know, like about their bodies, and especially now, like we're talking about these things like, oh, strong is the new skinny, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of powerlifters don't look like, you know, what, like this idea of strength, like, you know, especially people who are doing, you know, a lot of weight, but not necessarily a lot of reps. It's not really, you know, about appearing a certain way. You might look at a powerlifter and think that they're a total couch potato. They're like kind of like big and dense. I'm not a good example of that, but like you see that a lot in this world. So it really kind of like changed the way that I see strength. And I think a lot of people who like, you know, you see all these folks who are up on the platform doing this thing, and like you would never, like you might never know what they're capable of, for sure. So it's cool. It really like helped me to see what strong looks like in all these different capacities.
Leah, knowing what you know now about fitness and being a woman in the fitness field, if you could tell yourself at age 12 anything, what would it be?
Well, I think probably what I'd tell her is that it's rough out there, you know, like trying to make everything work, trying, you know, like living in this really expensive city, you know, and that if you get into a field like I do, like you're not always going to be kind of taken care of by, you know, the medical industrial complex and everything like that. So I think I would definitely make sure that she knows, like, you have to keep yourself strong, because it really is an investment in your longevity and your health when other areas like might fail you in that way. So, you know, I do a really physical job, so making sure that I keep myself in top condition to kind of keep everything going, just making sure that like I can keep making it work, you know, would be something I'd like make sure that she has the foresight to know as she goes into adult age.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Leah, I'd like to thank you for coming to talk to us
Thanks.
today.
Cool.
This is Mikaela Lynn signing off for the APT News Network.